Welcome, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hey there, Karen. Karen, who's showing her face, and Julia, kudos to you. Screen on, loving it. That's fun. Welcome, everybody. So should we, okay, great. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Halfway, this is the hump day.
Halfway there.
Thank you all for coming to our climate comedy workshop. We're just gonna give a couple minutes for some more people to show up. But
Eric, do you want to tell me when we start with the game that we do while we're waiting?
yeah, we can start that now.
Okay, great. So how many folks do we have here with us? We have Rebecca, welcome, Mariel, Linda, welcome. Okay, we're gonna, my partner who's making vichyssoise will be done with the blender soon. But you can hear me anyway. I can't mute myself because I'm leading it. So
Beth, that sounds so tasty. Tell JP I want some.
you can come over. We'll feed you. Always. Hey everybody, we're gonna start out while people are trickling in with a game of yes, let's. Okay, so I'm gonna say I'll start out by suggesting something that we should all do, and we're gonna all do it. And I want to just invite you, if you would, to prop up your computer and be in a standing position. If you really want to do it sitting, you totally can. I also would love to invite the folks who have arrived early to turn their cameras on, if they would, please. Unless there's some extenuating circumstances that it doesn't work out for you, so fine. But in any way, if you could, that would be fantastic. We'd love to see you. It makes it way more fun. And we're going to do a game of yes, let's. Okay, I'm going to start it out, and I'm going to say, start it out kind of low stakes. Let's grab a basket. After I give my thing, my prompt, you'll all say, yes, let's, and then we'll start doing it. Let's all grab a basket and pick some apples from this tree before they go bad.
Yes,
Yes, let's.
We're going to wait until somebody else suggests something else, and then we'll do that.
let's all be skydivers.
Yes, let's.
Let's all pretend we're a palm tree blowing in the wind.
Yes, let's.
Yes, let's.
Let's take this a step further and be one of those used car blow up thingies.
Yes, let's.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Let's pretend we're stuck in a box and are painting the inside of the box.
Yes,
Let's.
let's.
Let's pretend that we're trying to get a splinter out of our thumb. Yes,
Yes,
let's.
let's. Let's all pretend that we're surgeons and we're in surgery.
Yes, let's.
I have one.
Good.
Go for it.
Let's pretend we're the queen waving to the crowd.
Yes, let's.
Let's.
She's 93 or 4. We got to make it allowances.
Let's pretend we're the queen on horseback.
The 90-something-year-old.
She likes horses, doesn't she?
Let's be jellyfish in the water.
Yeah.
Let's.
What? Let's pretend we're picking up garbage on the side of the highway.
Yes, let's. Let's be a wind turbine engineer and be erecting an enormous wind turbine.
Yes, let's.
Let's.
Let's pretend we're a snowman and it's the first week in April and the sun is finally out, so we're starting to slowly melt.
Yes, let's. Thank you, everybody. Let's try another game. Welcome, everybody. We're doing some games. Eric, will you call it when you want to start in
Sure.
earnest?
I think it looks like we're actually slowing down on people coming in. So we can, how about we introduce everything and then we can jump into the next game?
Fantastic. Well, do you want me to just start the workshop now? Because it has games in it too.
Sure, yeah.
We'll just start the workshop. Welcome, everybody, to Climate Comedy Workshop. This is something near and dear to my heart. My name is Beth Osnes. I'm a professor of theater at the University of Colorado. I'm also co-rostered with environmental studies, and I will invite my co-facilitator, Ben Stasny, to introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ben Stasny, and I'm a second-year graduate student in the Department of Theater and Dance at University of Colorado Boulder. And my research interest is in the intersection of theater and climate change. So I'm working very closely with Beth. I go over to dinner at her house all the time. And yeah, we do research too. We don't just, it's not all just eating.
Good. So today we're here together because we believe that doing climate comedy can help us process a lot of the negative emotions that are associated with this issue, climate change. We also know that it can help us sustain hope. And we also realize that it can help us stay engaged in this issue through the experience of positive emotions and through the exercising of this constructive hope that we get to experience through embodied methods. We experience the environment physically. We contribute to global warming physically in an embodied way. So we should really be taking on solutions in climate action through embodied methods, because it is a very much a physical and an embodied crisis that we're trying to address. So our objectives for today, for this workshop, it's a shorty, and we're going to just introduce this notion of climate comedy. And we're also going to just give you some experience and some skills in creating and facilitating mainly process-oriented climate comedy situations. In the class that Ben was a part of and that I teach, we support our students in creating climate comedy. And if there are any educators in this workshop that would like to be in touch with me about supporting their students in creating it more, I'd be happy to share that out. We're creating a website called enactingclimate.org that right now has the top 20 climate solutions that have been adapted for 5th grade learners. And we find that those are from the Project Drawdowns list of top climate solutions. And we're working on getting the top 10 in Spanish as well. And we find that young people having access to top climate solutions and keeping all of their communications solutions focused really makes a difference in them experiencing these positive emotions Because if we just look at the crisis, it can go south fast. It can go, yeah, it just really helps. We take on the same issues, but we're just doing it from a solutions focused framework. And that really makes a difference. We've done research with our students to show that it really does help in experiencing positive emotions. So some of the agreements that we're going to just quickly do as we do this workshop, comedy is something that we just like, you know, we're kind of shooting from the hip. We're doing things kind of fast. And we may do an ouch or an oops. We may accidentally say something that's hurtful. We might accidentally misgender someone. We might accidentally use a phrase that's antiquated and we don't even really want to use anymore or something. We're going to really be calling each other in instead of calling each other out. We're coming at this with a spirit of generosity. We're looking to what can we make funny, but we want to always keep in mind at whose expense. We want to move beyond kind of hurtful stereotypes when we're creating humor. And I also just put out to you, manage how much you feel like you can participate. We would love to have all your screens on if you feel comfortable with that or if you're in a position to do so. We also just say, take space, make space. You know, if we want you to be participating, and then, you know, leaving room for other voices too is always great. Anything else that anyone would like to add for our collective consideration as we just start out with our own workshop agreements? And if you come up with any later, feel free to throw them in the chat, and Eric or Olivia will insert those verbally when there's a little break and it's appropriate to do so. Cool, great. So we're gonna start out with some relaxation because you cannot do comedy if you are all tense. It just doesn't work. It blocks it. Tension blocks expression. So everybody who feels comfortable, get standing up, please. But you can do it sitting too, don't worry about it. Do whatever you feel comfortable with. And even if you don't have your screen on, I urge you to do these exercises as well. We're just going to do box breathing. So if you're on a Zoom screen, it's kind of fun to do the actual box of your Zoom screen. We're going to start any corner. I'm going to ask you to just go, oh wait, actually start low, sorry. I'm going to ask you to inhale as we go up, and I'll count to 3. I'll actually count to 4. I'll inhale up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. We'll go around 2 more times. Hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Let exhale, 1, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And now your own rate, do 2 more. Great, thank you, everybody. I'm going to also ask now that we do another exercise for releasing tension and getting into our bodies, waking up our bodies. I'm going to ask you to start at your feet and do a body pat. So you're just going to do, I'm just showing it here, body pat all the way to the top of the head, starting at the bottom. Whew, nice. And now we're just going to do a shake it out. Animals do shaking it out to get rid of tension. They shake it out. We're going to do this too. We're going to shake it out. Everybody just vigorously shake if you could. We're going to do it with the sound too. So we're going to do it. Take it in a circle one direction. Take it in a circle the other direction. When I do this, you have to do this choicely with some groups. I like to do this when I'm with groups to say, when we're doing this, just say gently bump into each other. Boom. And it just really helps with like, we're not fragile. We can do stuff. So you have to make the choice of if that's appropriate, given if you're working with 3rd graders who are going to be bonking each other into the other room. But, you know, and sometimes I find that to be super useful for people to get a little bit less precious and a little like, we can be fun together. We can play together. So yeah, great. I really recommend that kind of slowing down, grounding. Box breathing is something that like paramedics do before they go on the scene of a terrible accident. Like it's something that helps regulate your breathing, manage anxiety, which a lot of young people have to work to manage, and everybody does, especially during these times, and that's shaking it out. So I hand it over to Ben to help us expand our expressive range.
Great, thanks, Beth. So we're gonna do some vocal range work, and we're gonna do some diction work because it's important to be understood. And as humans, we have this excellent ability to use a lot of our vocal range for different expressive purposes. So let's stay standing, and I want you to think about the lowest part of your vocal range. So just make that noise right now. What's the lowest noise you can make?
If everybody could put their mics on, it's fun to hear each other.
Oh yeah, it is fun to hear each other. So mine. And now think about the highest your vocal range can go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from low all the way to high, and let's physicalize it as well. So think about going low, being down like this, and take your hands all the way up your body, going all the way up above your head to the highest you can go, okay? So here we go. We're going to start very low, and we're all going to go up at the same time. And back down. One more time. And back down. Now I want you to follow my
hand. Did you hear
hands.
my chat complaining about that?
I want you to follow my hands, and as I go up or down, you follow with your voice, okay? So we'll start at the top. Okay, good job, good job. Now we're going to do a little bit of some diction work. So we'll go E, A, A, O, U. All right, everybody just do that together. E, A, A, O, U. Now let's add a consonant with it. Let's do a T. T, tay, ta, ho, poo. Really engage everything. Engage your face, engage your lips, engage your teeth, engage your tongue. So we did the T. Let's do a K. Key, K, ka, ko, ku. Let's do an L. Lee, lay, la, lo, lu. And let's do a P. P, pay, pa, po, poo. When you do this exercise, it's very important to end with a P because then you end with poo. And that's always funny. Doesn't matter how old you are, that's always funny. One last thing I'll do is this is an exercise I've always done as an actor. It's the plosives exercise. So our plosives are P, T, K, and B, D, G. So you want to make sure these are always engaged. So I like to go P, T, K, B, D, G. P, T, K, B, D, G. And when you practice that more and more, you can go even faster. Patika-ba-diga, patika-ba-diga. And then if you practice it a lot like I do, you can go super fast, like patika-ba-diga, 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 patika-ba-diga. And that's fun because it's the really ones at the very front of your mouth, and the noises closer to the back of your mouth, like ba-diga. So there you go. Those are some exercises you can use before teaching, before public speaking, before going on stage, any of that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ben. That's one's a fun one. I didn't. Okay, good. So we're going to start now. I'm going to ask everybody to stand up again, please, if you would. And in your, let's say in your right arm, so whichever one your right arm is, I'd like you to put your right arm up. And in that right arm, I would like you to hold a lemon. Please put a lemon in that right arm.
You want me to do this one, Beth?
Pardon?
Did you want me to do this one?
Yeah, you stopped, so I thought maybe you go ahead and do it.
Oh, okay, great.
It was in order, so sorry if I.
Oh, no,
Oh,
you're,
I see. No, I changed the order. I get it. Okay, yeah. Let's just do this one. Go ahead, Ben.
okay, cool. So yeah, Beth was right. So like, let's hold a lemon in our right hand. And you can feel the lemon, you can feel the circularness of the lemon. And now I want you to squeeze the lemon. Think about squeezing it really tight. So now the juices are coming out of the lemon and it's sour and it stings. Now feel the stinging all the way down your arm and let it hit all the way through your body. It's just like sour, just pucker up just a little bit. All your whole body puckering up from the lemon. Okay, shake that out, shake that out, shake that out. Good, good, good. Now I want you to take your left foot. This is my left foot. And I want you to raise it in the air. So balance for just a second. And I want you to put it down on the floor and imagine you're stepping in a big, juicy cow patty. Oh, it's so gross. Oh, it's hot. Oh, it just was late. It just got down there. Yuck. Now feel the mushiness and let the warmth of the cow patty go all the way through your body. So you're just feeling really mushy and really warm. Woo, okay, shake that out, shake that out, shake that out. That's gross. Now I want you to take your left hand and raise it up. And now the littlest, most delicate bird just flew into your palm. And oh, you can feel its little feet on your palm. It's tickling. And it just sits there and it looks at you and it gives you a little song. So let the lightness of the bird and the purity of the bird just go through all your whole body. Just look at the bird. You can bring your other hand up and look at it. Oh, you're just feeling so warm inside from the bird. And now let it fly away. Let the bird fly away. The bird wants to be free. You had a little chance meeting with the bird. Now shake out your left hand. Okay, that's good. Shake out your left hand. All right, now take your right foot. And I want you to again raise it up and put it down. And now imagine that when it hits the floor, roots shoot out the sole of your feet and the roots go deep into the soil. You can feel your foot becoming so strong and sturdy. Let your left foot have roots as well. And now just stand very strong, very powerful, very grounded, and feel the way in which you are part of the earth in this way. And allow the nutrients from the soil to come up through your feet, up through your shins, up through your thighs, to your torso. Feel the nutrients coursing through your body. Let them shoot out of your fingertips. Let it feel in your head as well. And just move forward, feeling super grounded after this exercise. Good.
Nice. Thank you, Ben. Sorry for that. This next one of the things that we like to tweak as a lot of humor. There is some verbal humor that resides only in language. There's language-based humor, but a lot of comedy that we can draw upon lies in the body. And I especially think that with young people, allowing folks to have these kind of embodied experiences can be a really positive experience and can integrate the whole body. And it really allows us to get out of our heads in this consideration of climate change and down into our full bodies where we can process it and act on it. So we're going to do an exercise. If you could, I'm going to go to this next one. We can do the other one to warm down. I'm going to ask everybody to put a ping pong ball in their hand, if you would, please. Everybody got a ping pong ball in their hands? You can see I've got one right here. It's kind of invisible, but it's a ping pong ball. Okay, great. So just roll that ping pong ball a little bit for me, if you would, please. I'd like to see you rolling it. If you've got your screen on, roll it. Get a little creative with how you're rolling that ping pong ball. Really commit to the fiction of that ping pong ball. Okay, now cup it in your hand again. And I'd like you to exaggerate these movements, if you would, please. And grab that ping pong ball, if you would. You've got it between your finger and your thumb now. You can show it to me. Show everybody your ping pong ball. Cool. And now I want you to take that ping pong ball and I want you to pop it into your mouth. I want you to experiment with that ping pong ball going to one side and then to the other side. Let's see it. If you can get up close, it'd be nice. We'd like to see your ping pong ball. you play with your ping pong for a little bit, I want you to exaggerate swallowing that ping pong ball and what it feels like to swallow that ping pong ball. Oh. Okay.
Oh no, Linda was choking for a second.
If anybody has indigestion, you should have given a disclaimer that you're going to have to eat a ping pong ball while you're here. I'm so sorry. Okay, great.
Don't
So
choke.
now we're just going to play a little bit of screen games. Who knows how much? Don't choke. Don't choke. We're going to do a little bit of screen games. It's kind of fun to take something that could be thought of as a liability and use it as an asset when you're on screen with your students or with yourself or with others. This is the screen here, right here. We are snakes inside the pet store, inside our cage, and the world can come and look inside our pet cage, and we are snakes and we are looking out at the world. So I want you to be that snake. Excellent. Let that one go. Let that one dissolve away. And here's another one that we're going to do as inside. You are now in that same pet store, but now you are a puppy who is behind a screen in the pet store, hoping to be adopted. Let that one go. And now I would like everyone to go away from their screens so that we cannot see anyone. We don't want to see anybody right now. Everybody hide. Everybody hide and think about it. We're going to count. I'm going to count to 3. And when I count to 3, I'd love everyone to do something very surprising. So think about it ahead for 2 seconds. What is it that you want to do when you jump in? And I'd like everyone, I'm going to give you a 1, 2, 3. And when I say 3, on 3, I want you to jump in doing something surprising. 1, 2, 3. Take a look around. That's fantastic. Yes. Eric, okay, that was really good. Okay, that was very fun. Okay, good. So I just wanted to just share out a teeny bit so you can sit down, kick your feet up a little bit here. There's a lot of people who are looking at comedy as a very viable way to enact positive social change. There's a book that's called A Comedian and an Activist Walk into a Bar, The Serious Role of Comedy in Social Justice. And in this book, they talk about verging on this place where entertainment and news and commentary are becoming the new ecology. Like they're the way that people are starting to have less trust in traditional media outlets and in governments. People are turning to comedy as a viable outlet and a source for news, and not even just factual news, but commentary and interpretation. Within this book, they say that comedians themselves are becoming social justice influencers, and they're reframing many of the issues that are in the news. And also, comedians are now the current day public intellectuals, is what the book puts forth. So it's a really interesting thing. A lot of people are starting to do research. We're really at the University of Colorado at Inside the Greenhouse. We're some of the innovators in saying, let's take on climate comedy. Let's do some research on it. Let's do it with our students. We've had 6 years now where we've been doing shows every Earth Day, doing climate comedy, stand up for climate comedy show. And we also have an international video contest that goes out every year for our show that we have, people from all over submitting, and we show the winning videos at our event. And we also do research on our work. And what we have found is this last research that we did up for an article on the co-creation of climate comedy with our students in our class and professional comedians is we did a poll of our 40 students, and I asked them, how many of you came of age and even expect to receive your news on things like climate change, other important relevant social issues, how many of you expect to get that news through comedic sources? And 56% of our students said, yes, I expected to get it through comedy. So there's no, like, when you say climate comedy, that's ridiculous. No, actually, it's actually right on, because at least our students expressed that they were really getting their news from comedy. So it's a very appropriate place to be in terms of comedy and trying to inform and bring change. We'd like to share some examples that came from our international climate change video contest. And I think it gives some insight into what climate comedy can look like. So I'll hand it on over to Eric, who's going to show our first clip. Not that cool.
As I have been saying all along, Schmeimet just doesn't have the same ring to it. Oi! Give me all your Pokemon. My what? Oh my goodness! Help! Oh no! The punching is already underway. Yes, I can feel that on my face. So if you could help as soon as possible. Okay, I'm setting a 20 punch limit. We definitely need to stop the punching by then. Or just as soon as possible. Oh dear, it looks like we've passed the threshold. What? I guess it's just a punch disaster now. It was always a disaster for my beautiful face, and it's getting worse. Yes, it's just too late to stop you getting punched. This is a world ruined by punching of your face. It's getting more ruined all the time, so just stop this attack. If only we'd all acted sooner, then we could have protected you. But better late than, never. You're right, we should set up a colony on Mars to escape this punch-ridden world. Okay. What?
I haven't seen that one, Beth. That one's good.
Isn't that one great? It's the purview of comedy to expose something that's such an obvious truth and to expose it in such a comedic way. And the physicality of that, the ridiculousness of it, but the honesty and the truth telling of it as well is really telling. This next one we're going to do is Rolly Williams, and he is a climate scientist studying at Columbia University and also a longtime collaborator with Climate Comedy. I think he might be from Colorado too.
Hey there, I'm Al Gore, former vice president and the man who got friend-zoned by all of America. With the Avengers Endgame on the big screen, I'm out here in New York City trying to find out whether people know more about the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the one that they actually live in. Oh man, who am I, Jimmy Crimmels? Just joking. Let's go. Who is your favorite Avenger?
I'd have to go with Thor.
Probably Hawkeye.
I don't know, I like the Iron Man movies the most. Is Black Panther one? Oh, there we go.
Just rattle off some Avengers if you can name them.
Captain Marvel, Captain America, Thor.
You got the Hulk, Spider-Man.
Ant-Man.
Did we say Doctor Strange?
Oh.
Black Widow.
Now, you named a million Avengers. Okay, now I gotta know, just for me, who's your favorite climate scientist?
Oh, that's gotta be, well, they're doing some great studies.
Totally, and they are great. So who's your favorite one?
Oh, of all, oh man.
Or just name one. Just name one if you got it. Who's your favorite climate scientist?
Andy, you got one?
I said I don't fucking know. I wish I knew.
I don't know the names of any.
Is this a sign of the times that I can't name a climate scientist?
I think it might be. Let me just say, you're getting to the heart of this video. What is MC?
Okay, great. Thank you. So this one is really great too. It's just exposing where we as a humanity, it's taking somebody to task, but it's all of us. So it's this kind of, good-natured comedy, and that no one single person is being outed, but everyone in New York City. We have one last one that we wanted to share. It's an example that came to us for our international competition from South Africa. And this one is really interesting because it was something that was put out in the news, and it's got high production quality values, and it was really meant to mobilize a people in more of a collective, more political way.
Let's face it, Wizanti, climate change is something we've been blue ticking for far too long. But you can't ignore messages from mom forever. And by mom, I mean Mother Earth. With this past July being the hottest month in recorded human history. Again.
July 2015.
July 2016.
July 2019 was the hottest month ever recorded.
People around the world are protesting in their thousands and demanding action. But here in SA, we've been a bit busy.
Xenophobic looting in South Africa.
A new wave of violence against women.
South Africa's unemployment rate has increased to 29%.
Climate change seems pretty low on the agenda for most South Africans. Could it be because we have no idea just how bad things are?
This is fine.
Let's get away.
Thank you. So you can see that comedy is really situated in its own cultural context. We could get a lot of the jokes, but if we were from the country of South Africa, we would have even resonated more with the allusions that she was making. So we can see that comedy is really always context specific. So one of the things that we realize in climate comedy is I've been teaching this class for a while, where a creative climate communication course, and we've been taking environmental studies majors largely and supporting them in creating climate comedy that they perform at a live venue for mainly their friends. And they're funny. They're just funny. They can do it. And you realize it's not rocket science to be funny. In one of our articles that we published called Good Natured Comedy, we have a list of like a very incomplete list. And maybe Eric, you can put part of it in the chat now. But there's just like things that are funny, you know, like fully committing to something. That's funny. Watching all of you hold a baby bird, and then like the things that Ben led you through. When you fully committed, it was funny. We also noted that surprises are funny. When we all went off and then jumped on, it was funny to see Ben be upside down and to see Eric with that silly hat on and to see the rest of you doing funny, surprising things. Exaggeration can be very funny. Introducing one ridiculous idea into an otherwise logical world. Scatology is funny. Ben did that thing with ending with poo. It's funny to reference poo. Honesty can be funny. Timing, high stakes, things like that. So we give a list like this to our students and we say, pick an issue, apply one of these things, and they can create comedy. I'd love to demystify this in just saying, and the thing is you create material for comedy and then you squeeze it in, because then it's like you just take out the stuff that's long and slow and you just squeeze it in, and you can really you can create comedy with people. So the other thing that I feel very strongly about is making this solutions focused. Eric, I wonder if you'd show that thing that I just shared just a second ago that shows the top climate solutions that I just emailed to you. And while I'm talking, I'd love for you to just take a look. We're gonna be going into breakout rooms and creating a very short little teeny thing of comedy. And maybe you can make it a teeny bit bigger. I'm gonna ask you to consider focusing on one of these top climate solutions as identified by Project Drawdown. And reducing food waste is one. Health and education, which a lot of that is access to family planning and education for girls. Plant-rich diet, refrigerant management, properly disposing of refrigerators and getting them so that they have the correct, the chemicals that are going to be most advantageous. Using resources from tropical forests in a way that we can restore them. Wind turbines. Way down farther, we see LED lighting, things like this. So think about being solutions focused in your comedy. And what I'm going to challenge us to do is to get into breakout rooms. We'll have about 4 people in a breakout room. I challenge you all to pick a song that you all 4 of you know. So it could be Happy Birthday to You. It could be from a Disney musical that you all think is funny. It could be a nursery rhyme. It could be anything. And I'm going to ask you to focus on a climate solution. And I'm going to ask you to rewrite the lyrics. You only have to do like 4 lines of it, or like 1 little verse or something like that. And I'm going to ask you to change the lyrics together quickly. Don't overthink it. And then we're going to come back together and share these little jingles. And these jingles can be the wordplay. And we're going to ask you to maybe even like have a little bit of movement that you do with it to get it embodied. But it's just quick and dirty. It's like fast. It's like you're at camp and you're just being asked to come up with something kind of fast. Okay, so we're going to come back. You can unshare that. So we're going to get put into groups. I'm going to give you an example just so you have, like, if you think of a common polka, one of your songs might be something like, reduce your food waste, yours own and systemically. Reduce and make haste. It makes sense economically. So that would be like one example. Another example that we used in our climate cabaret might come from The Lion King, where we would maybe substitute out the wind. Instead of reducing food waste, we'd look at onshore wind turbines, and we would do, wind turbines are beautiful. They turn both day and night. So it's like, they're just silly lyrics, but you're just solutions focused. You're getting it a little bit embodied, and you're doing about 4 lines from a song that you all 4 know. Any questions before we go into breakout rooms? We're good? Okay. And we would love it if, as much as you want to, everybody sing it, but you can have a representative. So we're really only going to take about, we have until 6, we have until the hour, right? Okay, great. You're going to get about 4 minutes to do this. So you just got to hop in there, choose a song fast. Happy birthday, Little Red Riding, like whatever, like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, whatever you got. Okay, so here we go. Jay.
Yeah, thank you, and a great presentation, and I really like how you worked in so much of the movements and priming the group, and so I will take those to heart and try to apply those for my own use. But I myself really like self-deprecating humor, and I think a lot of the times we try to refocus our comedy on different topics, but I think reflecting it back to ourselves as climate advocates, we are making a lot of noise, and there's different protests and different actions that we feel like, if we stop using straws, we're going to save the planet. And so that type of arrangement where we can pat ourselves on the back for these, kind of insignificant things. I'm curious as to your take on turning the humor back on ourselves. The crying of the sky is falling, and then now we're gonna have a really cold winter, right? And the difference between weather and climate, and folks are going to point at, I've got 3 feet of snow up my door. Where's climate change when I need type of stuff? So what are your thoughts on turning it back on us?
If I followed you correctly, which I may not have, Jay, but I enjoyed hearing what you're saying. I think you were like, how do we manage what we're saying? And I heard at the beginning of your comment around like the different types of comedy, like self-deprecating comedy. And I think all types, we need all hands on deck, bring it all on. Let's just work together to think of the costs and benefits of each type. And there are costs and benefits, and that's just cool. Some people will be reached by one type and some by the others. And I just feel like that in terms of like what we're bringing up in terms of like, I just feel like I'm not that interested in trying to use climate comedy to change the minds of climate deniers. I think that's a waste of time. I don't know of anybody who's changed anybody's by just like through like that kind of rhetorical thing that we think we keep doing as humans. We are a funny species that we keep doing it even when it doesn't work. I'm really interested in folks who care and are concerned, and the Yale studies show us that that's the majority. So let's just activate those folks, and let's be solutions focused, and let's just take whatever, like we can do wherever we find the funny around those. And I think that's why so much like the kind of comedy that Ben does is really improvisation. It's done in groups. And when we're doing this in group settings, even comedians that are stand-ups, they get in front of crowds to get that feedback to go, oh yeah, that was crossing over. That wasn't okay. And oh, that was funny. People resonated with that. So I think that we have to do this comedy in community, because like we just did today, because we feed off of each other. We get feedback from each other that really helps us guide guide us in creating it.
And I think, Beth, also, you touched on this, but you just said, community. And that's, Jay, that's what it's all about, is finding the people who resonate with your style of comedy, your style of rhetoric. Not everyone's going to resonate with self-deprecating humor. I, for one, do. I use it a lot, especially when I say I'm getting a PhD in theater that tackles climate change. Oh, I'm so of the people. It's silly, but it's something I care deeply about, but it's also something I can poke fun at as well. And sarcasm is going to resonate with certain people. Cartoon, animation will resonate with other people. Dad jokes will resonate with another group, dads. So, it's like, I think comedy can be used to create that sense of community all over the place.
Good. Well, I see that we're at 6 o'clock. I want to end this with us all doing one last song together to unify us in this anthem. And I hope many of you know The Lion King and the song that I was doing. I put in the chat the lyrics to that last refrain that I'm gonna ask that we all sing. And I just want to have a little bit of like, oh, I got my light going. We're gonna have a little bit of up in the air, arms up in the air. We're all at a concert here. We're gonna do a little bit of a wind turbines. Okay, so here we go. I'll give us a count in of 5, 6, 7, 8, like Ben did. 5, 6, 7, 8. Wind turbines are beautiful. They turn both day and night. Provide the world with good, clean energy that makes our homes so bright. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to our hosts, for Eric and to Olivia. Thank you so much for inviting us and having us be part of your series.
It was fun with you.
Thank you, Ananya.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Beth and Ben, for that awesome presentation. If you're interested in learning more about climate comedy, we'll send out some resources. And we also have our Bowseat 2022 Ocean Awareness Contest is called The Funny Thing About Climate Change. So we're really hoping to kind of tap this creative, humorous angle to get more attention and get people to look at climate change in a different way. So please keep this in mind and share our contest. You can go to bowseat.org/contest to learn more about it, and go to visit our resource studio, also on our website, which has a lot of climate comedy resources and examples and stuff like that.
Great. Woohoo.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.